He laughed when I said I wanted to be a chef. Now I own the restaurant. When I was 13, I told my stepfather I wanted to be a chef. He laughed, not a chuckle, not a gentle, "That's cute" kind of laugh. A full, stomach-holding, breath-stealing laugh, like I told him I wanted to be an astronaut magician. "Sure, kid," he said, still wiping his eyes, "and I want to be king of Asgard." I stood there holding a greasy spatula in the tiny kitchen of our apartment, my hands shaking from flipping pancakes all morning. My mom had just left for a 12-hour shift at the hospital, and he was halfway through his third beer of the day. "You think working in a kitchen's some kind of dream?" he sneered. "Cooking's for losers. Go be something real. Get a job where you wear a tie." He always said things like that. When I got an A on a math test, he said it wouldn't matter because we couldn't afford college. When I helped mom fix a sink, he said no one hires poor kids for real work. Every time I found a sliver of confidence, he stomped on it like an ant on the sidewalk. By 16, I was secretly washing dishes at a local diner after school. The owner, Gloria, noticed me watching the line cooks and eventually let me prep ingredients. She showed me how to handle a knife, how to season without tasting, how to plate food like art. Gloria never asked about my home life, but she once gave me a ride and saw my stepfather yelling at me on the porch. After that, she always made sure I ate before I went home. At 17, I dropped out. Not because I was failing, but because my stepfather said if I didn't start paying rent, I could sleep somewhere else. So I worked full-time at the diner, saved every dollar, and enrolled in culinary school with Gloria's help. She co-signed the loan and told me to make it count. I didn't speak to my family for 3 years. Not after graduation, not when I got my first sous chef job, not even when I was promoted to executive chef at a small bistro in the city. I sent my mom a letter once, but it came back unopened. I heard they'd moved. 7 years after I left, I came back, not to visit, to build. The old Italian place downtown had gone out of business. I bought the space, gutted it, and turned it into my dream. Luca, named after my grandfather. The only man in my life who ever believed in me. We opened with a 7-table soft launch, modern Southern fusion menu, and a reservation list that filled up weeks in advance. One evening, I was reviewing orders at the host stand when the door opened, and in walked my stepfather. He hadn't changed much. A little grayer, a little heavier, still wearing that smug air like he owned the world. He didn't recognize me right away. He just said, "Hey, I have a meeting with Paul Latham." I froze. Paul Latham was my investor, a real estate guy who backed local talent and liked to host dinners here. "I'll let him know you're here," I said calmly. I walked to the kitchen, made sure the appetizers for Paul's table were fired, then pulled him aside. "Did you know who he brought?" I asked. Paul looked up. "Yeah, Carl. He's one of my property managers." I smiled. "That's my stepfather." Paul blinked. "The one who said you'd never make it?" "The very one." Paul chuckled. "Well, he works for me now. That's rich." Later that evening, I walked by the table to check on service. Carl looked up, eyes wide. "Wait, Marcus?" I nodded. "Hope you're enjoying your meal." He blinked and laughed awkwardly. "This place is yours?" "Yep." "Chef owner." "Full circle, huh?" He tried to say something else, but I didn't stick around. I didn't need to. I didn't build Luca to prove him wrong. I built it to prove myself right. That was the difference. He used to laugh at my dream like it was a joke. Now it pays his salary. And the best part, I didn't even have to rub it in. The food did it for me.